All right, so good afternoon, everybody. So today we're going to be talking about re-entries. Re-entries. Oftentimes, when we get some trade alerts, sometimes we see those trades late, and a lot of time we discard them. Like we discard, like because I have missed this trade, it's gone. Now, what I want to teach today will help you to understand when is the best time to re-enter, even though the trade has started going in the direction. When is the right time to re-enter, especially if you know that this trade looks like a great trade, but you don't just want to enter anyhow. You have to enter at a particular and specific point. And when you are entering, it means that your stop loss value will be different from the stop loss value given. All right. It could be the same take profit, but you want to understand how to re-enter a trade. That's what we want to talk about today. All right. Now I'm going to share my whiteboard first and illustrate how that works. Now, what does it mean to for a trend to be an uptrend? We've discussed it before. A trend is an uptrend when you have higher highs and higher lows. As simple as that. Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. All right. That is when a trade is an uptrend. So let's say Fred gave gold at this point that you should buy. And some people that saw the trade have started profiting, going. And then you saw the trade at this point, and then you just jumped in. And by the time you jumped in, it started retracing on you. And due to fear, you closed it. Meanwhile, it was still going to go up. But what if you've been patient and get in at the spot? That means that you will have just little or no drawdown and you will almost be in instant profit. Even though the people that got in at this point, would have secured more pips than you will have lesser pips. But of course, you go in at the right time. That is what we want to discuss today. So, how do you know when to get in? Now, there are different ways you can know. Number one is called a break and retest. And that break and retest, a lot of time, I like it to have extra confirmation. Yes, I know it's a break and retest, but what other thing can I see that can give me that confirmation? All right. So what does a break and retest mean? Let's clear everything here. So a trade is probably trending. A trade is probably, a particular currency pair is probably consolidating, not moving, not trending. Maybe Asia session consolidating, right? And in your mind or on your chart, you can easily, draw a box or a line around this area that this is the point that this trade has been consolidating. All right. Now, when this breaks out, boom, who remembers our topic on break and retest? When this break out, what do you expect to happen? You expect it to retest at this point. Now, this point is a point where you can go in for a position. So if a buy has been called here, all right, and then it broke a particular um what's it called now? A particular trap. I'll call it trap. All right. It broke that trap. And then you don't just quickly jump in because you've seen that this trade is going on a buy. No. Because this retracement alone, depending on the pair, depending on the volatility, sometimes could be up to 100 pips depending on the time frame. If it's a higher time frame, it could be 100, it could be 150, it could be 200, just this retracement alone. And sometimes it could just be 10, it could just be 5, it could just be 20, all right? You might have to measure and calculate to know the number of pips of that retracement. All right. So that is why it is always advisable that yes, get in here, and once you get into this place, then when you see a blue candle, because it's a buy, probably on 5 minutes, on 5 minutes candle or 15 minutes candle, when you see a blue candle, close above this line. All right. The body of the candle closes above this line, not under this line, above this line. When the body of the candle closes above this line, is an indication that you can now buy. All right. It is an indication that you can now buy and target the next TP given. Do you understand? Now, if you understand also, now if you understand this part, you understand this part, type in one. You understand this part before I move to the, because there are so many advanced ways already. I don't want you to find it so complicated. You understand this part that I just explained, type in one. If you don't understand, type in two. What I just explained now, you understand. If you've been in our class since the beginning, you should understand this part. And I hope you guys are taking note, all right? Good. Another way you will know if this is going to go back or retrace is if at that break, there are a lot of inefficiencies here, you know that it is coming to fill up that liquidity, all right, before eventually going up. You know that. Guys, I would want you to give me a minute. Let me just quickly attend to my son. All right, I think he needs something. Just a minute. Thank you. Let me see if I can pause this recording. All right, so now this particular strategy is when there is a change in trend, in the change in direction. And how will you be able to identify change in direction? You'll be able to identify change in direction where the higher highs and higher lows have been broken. It's no longer forming higher highs and higher lows, like when this blue candle happened, all right? And if it's up a downtrend, lower lows, lower highs, the lower lows and lower highs broken, forming higher highs and higher lows, that is when you know that there is a change in trend. It's as simple as that. And so, because the professionals have been able to spot these points early and they gave a sell here, and you miss that sell, if you want to go in for a re-entry, you know that this has been going on a buy for a while. It has been going for a buy for a while. You want to look for the last buy candle. The last buy candle. That is the spot you will go in. Let me make it simple. I'm still going to show my charts to explain. Let me draw different candles, right? So we have candles like this. Just wait. All right, going on buy, going on buy, going on buy, and suddenly a sell trade was called, right? And then it started moving this way, right? It started forming lower lows and lower highs too, right? I started coming down. Let me go back to some extent. All right, let me go back to the extent, or let me just erase this part off. All right, so this was the spot where you saw it, and the trade was called somewhere here. Now, you don't just continue and taking the sell, because usually there will be a reversal. Usually, because there is likelihood of some inefficiencies around this area. So there will be a reversal. So what are you going to look for? Which spot? Now, you're going to look at the last buy candle. And the last buy candle is this one. I'm going to change the color to green so you can see what I mean. This is the last buy candle. Can you see? Thick green. That's the last buy candle. So all you need to do is identify that last buy candle, draw a line here, draw a line here. All right, the high and the low of the last buy candle. So very, very likely the trade will come, the price will come back here, all right, before it starts that journey. So now this spot will be your entry to go to join the people that have been going in for the sell. And above this line will be where you're going to put your stop loss. Is that very clear? I know that I'm going a bit advanced today. I know that I'm going a bit advanced today, but it's important for you to also understand this part. Do you get this? If you understand what I just explained, if you understand what I just explained, type in one. You understand what I just explained. That is the power of patience. Before this reversal can happen, it could take some time. It could take some time. But you need to wait. You can't afford to run. If it doesn't reverse to your direction, then leave it. And I'm going to show you a particular trade that I am right now. Okay, let me show you. Let me show you. And I used exactly that same strategy. All right, look at it. Now, this trade was going up. This is a 5 minutes time frame going up, and suddenly it changed. Boom. When it changed, boom. Now, what do I wanted to look for? What was I looking for? Right now that it has started coming down, I won't just rush and start selling. I won't just rush. Now it has started coming down. I needed to identify the last candle. I do that on 1 hour, I do that on 5 minutes so that I can refine the last candle that was a buy candle, all right, before that trade. So which could be this particular one. Sorry, there are a lot. Okay, let me remove all my colors. Let me remove all the joints. All right. So before this huge movement started, boom. What was the last candle? This particular one. Let me show you. It started here, right? And the bottom of that candle was here. Can you see that? Let me zoom it a bit so that you can see. Can you see? Let me make it bigger. I want you all to see. All right. So I could identify this spot as a last buy candle before the huge movement started. And for other people, they can identify this particular one before that huge movement started. Can you see that? All right. So this is the spot you just need to take note of. So don't rush. Yes, you have missed the trade, but there is every likely possibility that it will come back to that spot. So if I should put a line here, all right, and say maybe I should cover this one too, this particular one, all right. But for me to refine, I'll just put a line here that, okay, very likely it's going to come back to this line. So in between these two spots is how many pips? It's just about 5 pips. So if I'm going to take a re-entry, I'm only going to use about 5 pip stop loss. All right. Rather than taking entry when the trade has started going. And if it reverses on you, that's going to be massive. So let me draw this line down and let's see whether it will come back to that spot in future. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. It was close at this point, but it didn't get to that point. It was very close. It didn't get there. Boom. It got there. Can you see? It just touched it a bit. It just touched it. For some people, I gave you a sell trade here. As a matter of fact, I called a sell limit because I knew it was going to touch here and then start moving in that direction. And it touched maybe just 1 pip to the downside, I mean, negative, and boom. And right now, I'm in that trade. All right. I'm in that trade. So there is no point to rush. Once you miss an opportunity, you have missed it. The only thing you need to look for when you miss an opportunity is where else can I get in? Where? Which other position can I get in? I can show you this in different ways. All right. Um, I'm trying to see other. other ones. All right, I'm trying to see other places I can show you. Let me go on 1 hour. All right, let me go on 1 hour. All right, so look at this, guys. Look at this. The trade was a downward trend here. I want you to take a look. All right, the trade was a downward trend. Boom, boom, going down, going down, going down, going down, going down. All right. If you look at the lower time frame, you're going to be seeing the lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. And a professional could have actually spotted this point and called a buy. Boom. And people are already in profit. People that entered at this point will say, hey, that trade was super. I'm already in 50 something or 60 pips in profit. And you will feel that, oh, you've missed it. All you need to do is to identify the last sell candle. And the last sell candle was here. This was the last sell candle, you can see. All right, this was on 1 hour. I can go down on 15 minutes so that I can refine it more. All right. Now on 15 minutes, this was the last. Look at it. Can you see that? Even this tiny one, this tiny one. All right, this tiny one. Can you see that sell candle? That's on 15 minutes. All right. So that is the spot I'll be waiting for it to get to in future. Or better still, just drag it a bit, because that particular one is, if I want to take it normally, right, I might not use this particular one. I might go in to capture this top white one. Why? Because this small one did not really give me the momentum. Don't worry, you'll get used to all of those ones later. All right. And see what happened. It went up and then it still came back to tap into it. It still came to tap into it. And what happened? Boom, the real movement started. Boom, boom, and it's still going up. So you wouldn't have missed so much. You wouldn't have missed so much. You can see a clear change in trend trade. It was a downtrend, but it moved to an uptrend, and then a trade was called, and you feel that you have missed it. All you need to do is to identify the last momentum candle and say, this is where my entry will be. It's always better to be able to identify that on a lower time frame. You can do it on a larger time frame, but also do it on a lower time frame so that it won't be too wide. All right, it won't be too wide. You can imagine the last candle that, last candle that is very, very long. All right, you want it to be as tiny as possible. All right, I know quite a number of people that got this trade, quite a number of people that got this trade, and some of them are still riding it till now. And where do you think they will ride it onto? Let me show you. It's just another strategy. Let me show you something. This was going on an uptrend before, but it changed direction, boom, to the downtrend. So if I want to locate the last buy candle, then this will be it. This will be the last buy from here to here. That's the last buy candle. All right. That's the last buy candle. So people that took this trade, right, is likely to still go up to this point. This might be their TP, because that is where the reversal can truly start happening. Do you understand what I mean? That is when reversal can truly start happening, because this was that spot where the change in direction started. So for people that miss this sell, boom, they have to wait for a very long time to come back to meet them here. Can you see that? Some people miss this sell, they have to wait for it to come back and meet them here. Some people miss this buy, they waited for it to come back to them here. All about identifying the last momentum candle. I hope that is very clear. If it is clear, for you, you understand this part properly, type in 111. You understand this part, type in 111. Great. And I would recommend that you watch this video over and over and over again so that won't be confused. So now you can see the reason why I'm still on USD JPY trade, and all I'm doing is that I'm just targeting here. Let me show you where I'm targeting. All right, let me show you where I'm targeting. There was a change in trend here. It was coming down and boom, up. So what is likely to happen? There is the last candle before the change in direction was this point. All right, was this point. Good. So that is where I am targeting that this particular trade or price will get to before any upward movements will happen again. All right. So my take profit will now be somewhere here, just above this line, 102.654, thereabout. I use 102.637. So 637 is somewhere here. All right. Somewhere here. That was what I used. And the trade is still running till now. I can easily move my stop loss into profit a bit so that in case it reverses against me, I will break even. Do you understand? So this thing is very, very simple. It's very simple. It requires a lot of practice, it requires patience. All right. You could wait for 2 days for you to get back to that spot. Now, two ways of re-entry. I'm going to re-explain everything. Number one is a trade that is based on trend. All right. So the trend is still running. It's still same trend. For instance, this is going down, so it's a trend. So if for instance you miss the trade, all right, if for instance you miss the trade, you go for a break and retest. Okay, there's a break and structure here, break of structure. Can you see that? It broke the structure, boom, and then retested and then started coming down. All right. So when it's the same, look at this, it's coming down, boom, boom. There was a break of structure here. Can you see that? A break of structure. This was a lower, lower low, but it broke the lower low. That's break of structure, and then retested at that spot. Can you see? And then started coming down. That is along the same trend. Along the same trend. Can you see? So I can go on and on and on. When the trade is along the same trend, then that will likely happen. All right. Look at this. Boom. It was a little uptrend. Though we are looking at 15 minutes, it was a little uptrend. It changed trend. So I would have said, look at the last candle, momentum candle, the last buy candle, which was here, somewhere here. Can you see how it came back and then started the true movement? Did you all see that? The last buy candle. See, I came back, touched it, and boom, started going. All right, still going till now. Still going till now. All right, and this is where we are at the moment. So you are taking precise entry. Precise entry. That is basically how it is. So for instance, a buy was called somewhere here. Let's say on shift, if a buy was called somewhere here and the trader started going, you missed it. What are you supposed to do? Two ways you can come in. Number one, you wait for it to come back here to this last sell candle area, or if it breaks, then what are you going to do? You wait for a retest. All right, because it's still along the same direction. All right, so when it's along the same direction, break, retest, wait for a candle in your direction, all right, to close above it, and then you can now take the buy to the upside. So two ways you can get in here. So if that buy was called here, you've already missed it. All right, so you can use these two ways to get in. This one will be better because it will give you more profit. All right, so that is it basically. So is there any question so far? Any question or question so far? Open the door. Is there any question so far? Is everything clear? So I'm going to allow you guys to be able to unmute yourself. Let me do it this way. I'm going to allow you guys to be able to unmute yourself in case you want to speak. So you guys can unmute yourself right now in case you want to speak. So can you see that I am still on this trade and it's still going, even though the volatility is low, it's moving quite slow. But yeah, I mean, some very, very good profit. At least from here to here, I'm in over $100 profit. So you can imagine if it gets to this point, that is about $300 profit, right? So that is it basically. So any questions so far? Any questions so far? So I'm going to stop recording here because we have actually concluded the class.